Hi. Do you want a little story time? All right, let's have a little story time. Under my comments, and this is just story time, it's me using my life, what happens in my life, and putting it into perspective just to help, right? Okay, because I'm beyond this. Then, anyway, in my comments, from a loved one says, Ishivia, which translates to, what's up with the hair? Like, and this is from a loved one. Okay, so I saw the comment and I was like, seriously? Like anyone who's probably where I'm at and you're getting these downloads, it seems to me where source is like record. There's no like time for anything. Even if you try to make time, there's this like gnawing feeling. And then for me personally, there have been times where I would have said, oh, I'm not ready yet. And I try to go get ready. And then I don't remember what it is that I was supposed to speak about. Or like sometimes I'm supposed to write something down. I don't know. I don't want to go on and on, but those who understand, understand. When source says record, you record. And it's also about following that voice, that inner voice, that inner knowing where it's like, oh, do this, do that. That becomes the duality that you're trying to achieve. So if you're not in rare form, I'm not saying, like not be clothed or, I don't know, just those who get inspired know that it's like just a flow, right? So Abraham says, get ready to be ready. I was more so focused on like my inner being ready. I felt like from the studying I was doing and the understanding I was trying to gain, that ultimately it was within me, and that's where the work had to be. So that's where I focused. Anyone who knows me knows that when it comes to like hair, not necessarily like beauty and makeup, but hair was my thing. I remember following this one lady. Her name is Tracy, and her channel was called Keep It Simple Sister, and I watched her religiously. She grew her hair to hip length. I grew mine past bra length, and all types of concoctions and, pre-poos and deep conditions and co-washes and braid outs. And I did it all. I did it for my friends. I had really beautiful hair. Like I took care of it. And then now that I understand how this works, I can now go down memory lane, right? I moved to a new city. I was like, there aren't great hairdressers out here, and, my family and friends didn't help back home. They were just like, yeah, girl, so when you know and understand, when you output energy and the thoughts and the feelings behind what you're saying and doing, you really start to realize like it hasn't been a setup all along. It really is you. So it's just a gentle reminder. So when the comment said Ishivea, I could have taken it two ways, and that's why I hit the record button, because that's a comment from a family member, and it's kind of like, really, if if you really cared, wouldn't it be like a text message, or wouldn't it be like, hey girl, here's a couple $100, like, get your hair done? Like, to me, if I see a need or I see something, that's where I come in. And I think most of us are genuinely wired like that, where it's like, oh, I see that. And you don't push, right? You definitely ask. Don't like, oh, look, you look hungry. Like, don't do that. But like when you know someone, especially if it's family, right? You just know things. So do I think you should be the path of least resistance for someone? If you can. I mean, don't take yourself off your path, but if you definitely can, do that. But if you can't, keep your comments to yourself, because the person on the receiving end, you don't know what state they're in. And I see people do this to a lot of people on social media. They do it to celebrities. It's like, why do you feel that you need to say something? But you know what? Say something. This message is for those on the receiving end, which is how to deal with it. And what you do is you ignore it. Why do you ignore it? You ignore it because attention to it will cause you negative emotion. If you pay attention to it, you start to believe it, and it's not true. So you in the limelight, you in the public eye, you who are exposed, or you who are subject to a vast majority of opinion, you need that shield up. You understand? You need to know who you are, remember who you are. And if you don't remember or don't know, I'm here to remind you. You understand? Like, you are a child of God. There is no mistake. You're beautiful. You're absolutely beautiful. And you cannot care what anyone thinks or feels about you. Unless it's nice. Unless it's a compliment. You understand? Those are the things you receive. Receive only the good to sustain the feeling. And the feeling is just love. It's just God's love that's already there. It's already there. The love is there. You just have to feel it more. And you can't feel it if you're too concerned with other people's opinions. It's hard to hear. You have to listen to yourself. So you need to override it, not care, laugh it off. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. They are. The only opinion that matters is yours, and it can't be what they think. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I love you. Bye.